There are days in tennis that echo far beyond the baseline. Days that are more than victories. Days that become monuments. Sunday at Wimbledon was one of those days. A day when the green lawns of the All England club bore witness to something extraordinary, something Italian tennis had never known before. Jannik Sinner stood tall. He stood with the trophy in his hands. He stood with the eyes of the world upon him. But what the world didn't see, what many missed, was the courage behind the glory. The choice to risk. The will to defy. And no one understood that better than Lorenzo Sonego. The fellow Italian, the competitor, the compatriot, he watched. He felt. He knew. He knew that Sinner's triumph over Carlos Alcaraz wasn't just about talent. It wasn't just about fitness, or strategy, or ranking. It was about guts. It was about boldness. It was about taking the match by the throat and daring to do what many wouldn't. Sonego said it clearly. Jannik put in a superlative performance from all points of view, showing the right courage when he needed to take risks. He saw it in every shot. In the forehands that hugged the line. In the backhands that defied gravity. In the drop shots that dared Alcaraz to chase shadows. And the result? A masterpiece. 4 sets. 3 hours. One destiny fulfilled. Sinner beat the two-time defending champion 4-6, 6-4, 6-4, 6-4. He became the first Italian man to ever win Wimbledon. History rewrote itself under the blue London sky. But behind that glittering triumph was the pain of Paris. Because just a month before, at Roland Garros, the same two men met in a final soaked in drama and heartbreak. Alcaraz won that day. He clawed his way back from 2 sets down and shattered Sinner's hopes in a 5th-set tiebreak that felt like a storm. Sinner walked off the clay in silence. But he carried that loss like a fire inside him. He remembered every point, every miss, every doubt, and at Wimbledon, he turned them into fuel. Sonego saw it, the difference, the growth. He said, some of his choices surprised Alcaraz, who gradually lost his certainties and no longer knew what to do. Because this time, it was Sinner who played with the unknown. He who dictated. He who danced on the edge, and never slipped. Alcaraz is not easily shaken. He is brilliance made flesh. But even brilliance dims under pressure it's not used to. Sinner brought that pressure. He played with tempo. He played with touch. He played with a conviction that said, I will not fall this time. And so, the dream became real. The crowd erupted. Center court shook. And the Italian nation rose as one. Sonego said, we were all excited. We had never seen one of our own lift this trophy. Never before had Italy seen its flag reflected in the Wimbledon silver. Never before had Italian tennis soared this high on grass. And Sinner didn't just win for himself, he won for every boy who picked up a racket in Rome or Milan or Bolzano and dared to believe. But not all stories from this Wimbledon were written in gold. As one star rose, another was forced to bow out in pain. Grigor Dimitrov, the elegant warrior, the artist with the one-handed backhand. He fought, he ran, he inspired, and then, he fell. A pectoral injury. Sharp, sudden, cruel. His retirement was not just an exit, it was an ache shared by all. Sonego felt it. Everyone felt it. He said, the worst part of the tournament were Dimitrov's tears. His retirement was shocking for everyone. Because in tennis, even at its peak of joy, sorrow walks beside the net. As Sinner raised the trophy, Dimitrov's pain reminded us, glory and grief often live side by side. And yet, even in that pain, there was something beautiful. Because sport is not just about winning, it is about feeling. Feeling the thrill of victory. The agony of defeat. The silence of withdrawal. Wimbledon gave us all of that, and more. It gave us history. It gave us heartbreak. It gave us courage. Courage to take a chance when the whole world watches. Courage to break patterns, to surprise an opponent, to say, today, I am not afraid. Sinner showed that courage. He showed it on every point where he could have played safe, but chose bold. He showed it when he stepped back into battle with the same man who had broken his heart. He showed it when he smiled at the crowd, knowing full well how far he had come. He showed it in his serve. In his stance, in his stillness, and in the end, when the sun fell and the grass wore the marks of war, Jannik Sinner stood with his dream cradled in his hands. Lorenzo Sonego said it best. This was the most beautiful image of the tournament. It wasn't just a trophy being lifted, it was a moment of redemption. A lesson in risk, a triumph of character, And though Dimitrov's tears reminded us of the sport's cruelty, Sinner's courage reminded us of its magic. Italy will remember this day. Wimbledon will remember this champion. And the tennis world. It now knows that Jannik Sinner is not just a name in the draw. He is a force, a fighter, a fearless heart, and above all, a Wimbledon champion.